I really do. I think the Lord's got to tone me down.
But don't you want to take a deep breath? Ever?
You know, I do. And I need it. I need it. To take a deep breath, to pull yourself together, to stop and reflect, to stop and just think about, where have I been this past week? What have I done? What has my week been like? Have I been the person that I ought to be? How can I live this next week better? To think on these things. So important. Sabbath. Now, what our Seventh-day Adventist friends are right about is that it used to be on the seventh day that the early church did observe the Sabbath. I think
the early church did.
Oh yes,
not Sunday.
Yeah, they did both. They observed Sabbath and Sunday.
And did we go to Sunday because he rose on Sunday? Is that true?
Yes, we were observing both days, and then eventually, after when the Roman Catholic Church got organized, they basically cut it down to we will worship on Sunday. But the early church did observe the Sabbath. The history will attest to that. But I'm with Paul. It doesn't make any difference whether you do it on Saturday or Sunday. There ought to be a day.
Yeah. What about doctors and hospitals and I mean, really, if you have a wreck on Saturday, you're going to want a doctor.
And Jesus, of course, picked corn on the Sabbath.
And he healed on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
Right? He said, man wasn't made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man.
That's right. And it was made not because you need to do this for God. This is something that God wants you to do for your own good. You need to stop. You need to take a deep breath. You need to pull yourself together. You can't go all the time.
For me is getting up and going.
Yeah, well, I realize that.
I'm telling you.
You're a very fortunate guy. You know why?
I'm very fortunate.
Yeah, because,
I'm blessed.
Because you have enough of this world's goods so that you don't have to get up in the morning and hustle every day.
You're right, and I know it.
Yeah, so you're very lucky in that respect. So don't hold yourself...
Luck had nothing to do with it.
Yes.
I don't know what did it, but I'm blessed.
I'll tell you what did it. You know what did it for you?
What?
Your mother.
Bill Gaither.
Your mother and Bill Gaither. Your mother taught you how to sing, and Bill Gaither gave you the chance to use that gift worldwide. Give me a high five on that.
For Bill and Mama, but
yeah, Bill and Mama. Give them both credit.
Oh, absolutely. I give everybody credit. I mean, I don't understand it, but the thing is, am I lazy?
Yeah.
Am I really?
I think so.
You think so?
I bet it's a lovely lazy.
But I could be.
When it says rest in the Lord, you took that a little bit too seriously.
I do take it serious.
Yeah, you do take it seriously.
I say the Sabbath is Sunday through Saturday.
Hey, are you ready?
What?
Redeem the time. Are you spending the moments of each day in such a way that every moment glorifies God?
Oh, Lord, no. Are you?
No, but I'm pressing in that direction.
Well, me too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a big order.
Yeah, I think ego is what keeps a guy like me going 7 days a week. Because I feel, the whole world is dependent on me. If I ever stop, something.
You don't really think that.
You know, I do have ego problems, and I have to deal with them all the time.
How? Why?
Let me give you this.
Explain that. Okay, what is an ego problem?
Okay, let me give you this. When I was a graduate student at the University of Pennsylvania, one of my major professors, who later became a good friend when I joined the faculty there, E. Digby Baltzell, when he found out I was going into Christian work, he pulled me aside and he said, "You're going into the pastoral ministry," which was my first thing. I said, "Yeah." He said, "That's wonderful." He said, "Now, Tony, I want you to remember something. Early in your ministerial career, you have to determine the limits of your hypocrisy." I said, "Limits of hypocrisy?" I said, "I'm not going to be..." Oh, he said, "No. When the day comes when you think that you are devoid of any hypocritical dimensions to your personality, you will have become the ultimate Pharisee of all time. There is always something about you will find, if you search long enough, that's hypocritical. Don't ever kid yourself into thinking that there aren't hypocritical dimensions to your personality. Hypocrisy is when you fail to live up to what you preach. I don't live up to what I preach. I'm striving towards it. I preach Christ, and I'm not there yet. I don't hold up myself. I hold up Jesus.
Oh, absolutely.
And the thing
But
is,
I think every preacher that does have an arrogant attitude preaches Christ.
yeah,
But they're hiding behind the skirt of it.
But I think this has to be said, that we all have to be aware of the fact that we are not there yet. There are hypocritical dimensions. Be sure that you are aware that you have hypocritical dimensions to your
I
personality.
hate that word.
But also, yeah, well, he wanted it to be ugly.
It's an ugly word.
He said, but there has to be limits. There has to
What
be.
does that mean?
It means that when you live in this world, there are certain compromises that you make. But be careful that you don't make too many compromises. For instance, shall I give you one?
Yes, please.
What kind of car do you drive?
I have a Prius and a Lexus.
Yeah, 2 cars. You really only need one.
Right. Well, I have one in Nashville and one here.
See,
I have 2 homes.
Yeah, see, okay. Well, maybe you can make an excuse, but the truth of the matter.
But I have actually 3 homes.
Yeah, but the reality is.
I got too much.
Yeah, you got too much. So that's hypocritical, isn't it?
Well, no, it isn't. Let me tell you why.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a 501c3.
Be this as it may, you don't have to be a 501c3.
Well, let me tell you. Let me just say this. I want to talk a little bit.
Okay.
When I started out, 1980, from college, I had a 501c3. I was a nonprofit corporation because I thought I'd be sleeping on preachers' couches for the rest of my life, and I was happy with that. And my dad even said, Mark, I hate to see you do this because I just hate to think of you begging for money all your life. And I said, well, Daddy, I know God's called me to do this. And he never brought it up again, and he's been a great supporter. And then all of a sudden, I look around, and money's coming in. And so I said, oh, no. I said, this ain't right. This was before Gaither, and so I said, okay, Mother Teresa's a 501c3. I'm making money. So I immediately switched to a for-profit corporation and started paying taxes first. And I tell my people, I said, we pay taxes first, God second. If there's anything left, I'll take it. Because I'd say God second because God won't throw you in jail if you don't pay your tithes. But we pay the government, and then so I don't even know what I pay in taxes because I don't have to see it. And if you don't see it, it doesn't hurt as bad. But I love toys. Yeah. And I admit it. And most of them are staring at us, all these gadgets around here. But these are toys that I can use to do what we're doing here.
So these are more than toys.
For me, they are.
Your motorcycle was a toy.
No, thank God that's gone.
Yeah, but it was a toy.
It was strictly a toy. And the houseboat.
Yeah, it was a toy.
But we had some spiritual times on there.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, go.